show, everyone. This week I have a special guest joining us here at the Lofty Lender. I'm thrilled to introduce Summer Clark, a true veteran in the real estate industry who hails from Des Moines, Iowa. With a career spanning over 2 decades, Summer has earned numerous accolades, including the prestigious RE/MAX Hall of Fame Award. Her expertise covers everything from new construction and custom homes to navigating the complexities of resale markets. Known for her masterful negotiation skills and deep roots in the Des Moines community, Summer brings unparalleled insight and dedication to her client success. Today, she's here to share her journey, offering invaluable advice for anyone looking to thrive in today's real estate landscape. Let's give a warm welcome to Summer Clark.
Wow, thank you for that.
Yeah. So let's hop right in. What got you into real estate in the first place?
Honestly, my dad. I was kind of bouncing back and forth in some, maybe career lines of sales and didn't love anything. Went to college with not an idea in the world of what I wanted to be when I grow up. And my dad was like, give real estate a try. He kept saying, give real estate a try. And so after talking to a few other people, I decided to dip my toe in the water. And here I am, 20 years later.
So straight out of college, right into real estate. No other careers. I know so many people have said, I was a plumber for 5 years or something. You just went straight in?
I did a few computer sales for a couple years. I was a bartender, which I actually loved bartending because I am a social butterfly. And so I liked standing around talking to everybody. It was a good atmosphere, so I did enjoy that very much, but definitely not something that, I would want to do for my entire life. So it was kind of fitting into the little gaps that I had there for a bit.
Makes you appreciate our service industry, right? I feel like everybody should do a little stint as a bartender or a server at some point.
Yeah.
So how has your career evolved from 20 years ago when you first jumped in?
Wow. It's night and day. The one thing that I am so appreciative of now is that, with all of the years that I've had, all of the experience, almost every real estate transaction is different. But after you've done different for 20 years, you feel like maybe you have handled almost everything. So when things come at me now, I have the knowledge. And it's crazy how I used to be the person asking questions in the beginning of my career and really looking up to my mentors or my office managers or people that had time on their side in the career. Now I'm that person. And so I just feel so honored when people come up and say, hey, I have no idea how to do this. Can you help me navigate through this situation? And so that's awesome. I love to help people. And I'm excited to be in the industry so long that I have all that knowledge to share.
And since you got in so young, you're still young, even though they're coming to you. Usually they go to the old people, but you're still young, right?
Yeah, I got married young and found my career when I was young. So it's working out.
What's one thing you wish more people understood about the work that you do in real estate?
That there is a lot of behind the scenes. It's not taking people showing a house, they like the house, ta-da. I feel like people don't understand that as a buyer's agent, if I'm in that position wearing those shoes, that we are making sure that the buyer is not paying over market value for the home. We are navigating the buyer through the home inspection process, navigating them, hopefully positioning them with a great lender so that process goes smoothly. There are so many aspects behind the scenes that we try to make very seamless and easy for the buyer. And that's our goal, is to make the transaction super smooth. They don't know what's going on. We're handling all of it behind the scenes, and they walk into closing day, sign a couple papers, get a key, and everything's roses, right? So that's our goal. But there are a lot of things that we have to juggle to get there and get there on time.
Amen. And I think that people that are in the process they don't want to know about the little hiccups that come up along the way that you can resolve and figure out the resolution before
Right.
you go to them, right? But
Right.
then on the flip side, if you want to talk to them and explain it to them after the fact, they say, I don't really care because Summer, you got it all taken care of for me and it's all done and I'm happy. So I totally agree. I think that there's a lot of bits and pieces of the process that most
Yep.
people don't understand, and unless they're in the industry, they're not going to. So then how do you, so you're talking about being a buyer's agent, you're going in, you're looking at these different houses. How do you stay current with the different trends in real estate markets and like homes and style and decor and all that kind of stuff? I mean, to me, all I know is white is always in. Outside of that, I've heard that, modern is sometimes good. Like, how do you stay up with that stuff?
Well, a lot of it is, in the buyer's eyes, personal preference. The world would be very boring if we all had the same taste, right? But as far as staying up on trends, I really enjoy looking at homes. I do some research online, do a little Instagram, kind of look on. Usually we follow what's trending on the coasts, and, the bigger cities. And I do enjoy doing a little research into what's up and coming and staying on top of that. That's my personality trait. I love fashion. I love all that stuff. So I do very much enjoy that. But as far as a consumer or a buyer, a lot of times, people love the white, but I run into people that, love a good toned wood, probably not honey oak, but, you know,
Nobody likes that.
everything else in the wheelhouse seems to go. And a lot of it depends on, what type of home. If you're looking in the Beaverdale area, you may want that original character with that stained trim. So it's just situational. Yeah.
So then you've been married for 27 years. You mentioned that in the bio,
Yeah.
and you're a mother of two. So how have you balanced the demands of a thriving real estate career with your family commitments?
I don't. I'm always going crazy and pulling my hair out.
Me too.
So it is, you just juggle, and as a parent, you just have to do it. So you just make it work. And a lot of times, my kid's at dance, I'm showing houses while she's at dance. My other one's at volleyball, maybe that's only an hour, and I'm like, okay, well, I can show one house, or I work on putting an offer together in the car while she's, at a lesson. So you just, you squeeze it in everywhere you can. And in the middle, you're a taxi driver.
So then how do you, taking that one step further, how do you manage the intensity of multiple offer situations or those high stake negotiations where your buyers are they're really counting on you, and obviously your family is counting on you as well. You've got to be at that dance recital, you've got to be at that soccer game, whatever the case is. How do you manage that?
So I am very, very fortunate that I have a partner, and so we really work well together. And if I need help, he's a phone call away, and vice versa. But we are always there. So when you're working with us, you're really getting two agents instead of one, because we really do work every transaction together, and it makes it very easy. Where I'm like, okay, well, we saw four houses today. They decided on one, and I need you to write it up. And these are, usually our clients are actually familiar with both of us too. Maybe we've both shown them houses, so I can say, pick up the phone and call him or her, and it's very easy. So we try to
Awesome.
make it as smooth as possible.
Yeah. So in what ways have the skills and insights you've gained from being a parent and spouse influenced how you deal with your partner? Because he's a guy, right? So how's that work out?
Well, he knows that I'm always right, so it's easy.
Fair. Fair. Smart guy.
Smart guy. But no, really, I think, being a parent, it changes you, right? It changes you, and it makes you, in my opinion, less selfish. You realize that the world doesn't revolve around you, and it makes you more compassionate, more aware of other people's feelings. It changes you in your soul, and I believe that once you experience that, you kind of look at everybody differently.
Well, and you've also learned that the world doesn't revolve around your kids either, because they also think that about themselves, right?
We try to teach them that, yes.
Are there any particular hobbies you picked up that have influenced you or helped you with real estate at all?
I don't know that you would call it a hobby, but I really enjoy like anything that is motivational, whether it's a good book or it's a podcast. And I feel like that has helped me in my business, because not only am I bringing a good mindset to a situation, but all of the stuff that I've dove into has really made me passionate about helping people and kind of getting them on that same track as well. So, and it's crazy, like as a realtor, you're not only selling people homes, a lot of times we're becoming great friends. Sometimes I'm a marriage counselor, it's like all of these hats that we end up playing or wearing while we are getting to know new people. And, you know, my goal is to not only help them either buy or sell their home, but create a good experience in their life. And whether that's helping them get on the right track, even if it's, financially, maybe they can't afford a home right now, but I can get them in touch with a lender that can give them, the steps that they need to take to make that first purchase. If it's, a lot of people look at me, how in the world have you been married so long, And so, and sometimes you just have to teach people that, it is a give and take and you have to be flexible, and my husband has, a good analogy for that. And he says that he is a tree and he bends all the time in the wind. And I think he means that I'm the wind. I don't know. But yeah, so, it's just little things that maybe I could do that help somebody out and move them in the right direction. That's my goal.
So your husband is a gymnast, then you're saying he's very flexible. He can bend. He can jump around. Exactly. So then, what activity or hobby have you found helps you unwind from real estate? Because obviously, this job requires you to be very in depth, in the weeds, always available. So what's something you like to do just outside of real estate?
I mean, I think the funny answer would be drink.
Fair. Can't do real estate after that, though.
A good bottle of wine does help. No, I am a very active person, and so I have a wonderful group of friends that I bike with. I love to bike. I mentioned my daughter plays volleyball. Maybe we'll go hit a ball around. I love vacationing, if it's a little longer break that I need from my career. Really anything that gets me outdoors. I really enjoy being outside if the weather's nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So then looking ahead, what are some of the short-term and long-term goals you have for your business?
So I think, short term is just helping people navigate through the situation that we're going through right now with all of the changes, and just helping people get through that and having a good, successful year. Long term, Mark, John, and I have been talking about potentially growing our team. I really like to mentor people and help them get started. I'm passionate about that, and I mentioned before I like to help people. So that's one of the things that we've been kicking around on how much we want to tackle that, because a portion of that does take away from our time with our clients. So we're trying to juggle how much we can fit in, but that is maybe a long-term goal for us.
Awesome. Well, now that I know a little bit more about you professionally, I really want to get into my next segment, which is the quick pick segment. And with this, I'm just going to ask you some questions, A or B. You tell me as much or as little of an answer as you want. If you want to go in depth, great. If you want to just pick one, I'll move right on. So getting started, pancakes or omelets?
Omelets.
Amen. Mystery or romance?
Mystery.
Chocolate or vanilla? Thanksgiving or 4th of July parties?
Thanksgiving.
Amen.
Family and food, yeah.
Meditation or yoga?
Yoga.
Do you do both?
Not as much as I would like.
Agreed. Sleep is necessary. Meditation,
Yeah.
maybe. I'll get there. Pie or cake?
Pie.
Urban living or suburban lifestyle?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Yeah, I have both sides in me. I would maybe choose suburban.
A suburban home in like rural area? That's what you're thinking?
Not too rural.
Time alone or a big party?
Big party.
Absolutely. I can see that. Hardwood floors or carpet?
Hardwood.
Favorite local restaurant?
Ooh, boy, I'm going to have to say Simon. Have you been there?
Amen. One of my favorites as well. Absolutely. Yeah. He just needs to make that place bigger, right? Because it just doesn't fit enough people, and his food is amazing.
I know.
Vacationing on a beach or in the mountains?
Oh, boy. Beach. However, I would like a home in location.
Ditto. Cooking at home or dining out?
Dining out.
Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
Can't be a salesperson with an Android, right? Campfire in the summer or fireplace in the winter?
Ooh, I love both. That's tough. I'm gonna go with the campfire in the summer. I'm not a fan of winter.
Oh,
If I'm inside next to the fire, though, see, that's great. If I'm outside on purpose, I like to have skis on.
fair. I think that my vision of being indoor next to the fireplace is not actually how I interact with the fireplace in my house, right? My vision is what you see in those pictures where it's just such a glowing warmth coming from the house. And I have it at my house and I just flip on the switch and it's it's already on. So early bird or night owl?
Night.
Hawkeyes or Cyclones? Heck yeah. And last one here, property staging is essential or overrated?
Ooh, it's essential.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get then into our final topic here, our final segment, which is the trending topic. And I've sent this over to you, but just so our listeners can understand, with the constant shifts in interest rates and the impact of events like natural disasters on property values, what strategies do you recommend for both buyers and sellers to navigate these fluctuating market conditions effectively?
Well, as far as the interest rate, when I purchased my first home many moons ago, we were super excited to get a 7% rate on a 7-1 farm. So the rates are high right now for what they have been. However, this may be the new low. We don't really know which direction they're going. So I think what the general public needs to know is that, if you purchase now, you can always refi when the rates go down. You need to make sure that you're able to afford the monthly payment at a 7% rate, right? Or whatever it happens to be at the time. So you need to be comfortable with that. However, if the rates drop, you refi, and then you have the best of both worlds. Because what's going to happen is if the rates do drop, let's say to 5, 4.5, which is amazing, but I doubt it will ever happen again. So if they do, everybody in the world that has been waiting for the rates to drop are going to be fighting over houses, and it is going to be a complete mess. We're going to be in multiple offer situations again. People are going to be paying 30, 40, 50, 70,000 over list again just to get the house. And guess what? They could have bought it for less, way less, and paid way less with a higher interest rate. So that's what I'm trying to teach all of my buyers as I run across them, get in touch with them, that, waiting is not a good idea. The other side of that is if 7 is low, and you're waiting, what happens at 8 or 10? Then the house that you would have afforded at 7 is no longer going to be an option. So if you're thinking about buying in the next 1 or 2 or 3 years, my gosh, now is the time to do it. There is still a lack of inventory in the Des Moines area, but we do have plenty of homes on the market, and they are, out there a little bit longer than before, where, we were seeing things sell within 24, 48 hours. Now maybe we see a couple weeks, a couple months and, and longer if it's not priced right. So where, 2 years ago, we could say, oh, well, we're going to get 40 offers on this. We can price it 20,000 over market value, and that's not the case anymore. It needs to be within market value, priced right, or it's going to be setting.
It's like they always say, you can date the rate and you can marry the house, right?
Right, right. Yeah. And a lot of times people are like, well, okay, so I'm sitting on my current home at, 2.5%, and I don't want to, sell and, step up to 7% for the home that I want. A lot of times what people don't think about is, potentially keeping that other home as an investment property. And, Mark, Jen, and I, we have a lot of investment properties. And boy, if you can make that work, that is the way to go. If you have children, I can't remember if it was Dave Ramsey or one of maybe Tony Robbins, one of the guys that I was listening to, said, hey, try to get one home bought per child. And we rent those homes out, and then in 20 years, when the child is needing a home, you can sell the home to the child, or, you can sell the home and use that money to help them as a down payment. There are a lot of, if you're able to do that, and it doesn't have to be a $300,000 home, it can be a $100,000 home, or whatever you can afford the monthly payment at the time. The point is that real estate is always going up. It has always been a good investment. Even if you look at, 2007, right before the 2008 crash, if you had bought then and held till now, you would have made hundreds of thousands of dollars on that home, And so if you can make it work, it's a good investment to keep that home. And, if you're able to even pull a home equity loan out of that home in order to stay in it as a rental and move on to another, that's a good option as well. They can get with you and run numbers on all that, right?
Absolutely.
So, that's something that I encourage people to just give it a little thought and see if that's a possibility and that they can make that work.
That's amazing.
So a lot of that is driven home prices up because of lack of materials, the supply and demand and all that. If we're looking on the coast, such as Florida, a lot of times when those coastal homes get wiped out, then, it does make the value of homes shoot up because of the lack of inventory. There's still people such as myself wanting to move down there, right? Find a vacation home down there. And, once a hurricane goes through, then, your pool of what you could potentially buy goes from, hundreds down to 5, right? And so it really drives the prices up. And that's kind of across the board, depending on, how many people are wanting to move to that area, kind of affects that situation. Did that answer the question?
Yep. You hit it right on the head.
Okay.
Love it. Awesome. Well, Summer, thanks for joining us today. If anybody out there listening has the desire or knows that they're maybe needy and has that desire to have 2 agents working for you, obviously Summer's a great choice. Her and her partner, Mark John, do a phenomenal job. They take care of customers and they make sure that you don't feel like a customer, you feel like family as you're working with them. Summer, where can people find you?
Yeah, I guess the best place to get all of our information is our website, Summer Clark, where they can.
Great. Well, thanks again, Summer. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who might love it as well. You can check out the full episode and more on all our major podcast platforms and YouTube. Your support helps us keep bringing you great content. Stay curious and see you next time with another exciting guest.